How y'all doing? It's after night service. We've been just getting ready. I did some prep. This is Sharon, of course, and me. Today we were blessed with food from the Mississippi Delta Council, straight from black farmers here in Mississippi. So we're gonna now. I have some ways I cook things. You have some things ways you cook things. We're gonna kind of cook it my way, but you're gonna talk about what you do to add to it, huh?
You can cook it your way.
And then, but you're gonna tell what you do so people can make a choice. Because I don't eat meat, you do, but I just want you, we just want you to be able to know how to cook everything, and I know many of you have been waiting on it. So we have purple whole peas, that we got from Mississippi Delta Council. We have squash, we have cabbage, and we have sweet potatoes over here. They're small sweet potatoes. They're gonna be very good. Now, first let's start with purple whole peas, because that's going to take the longest. They're tender, though. I can tell they're tender. They were frozen. They tell me, it was like, yeah, they're good. You know? Oh, yeah, they're good. You tell they're good. They're a little cold. Now, what I do is, first thing I do is put a little oil. I put a little oil, just bottom, not a lot of oil, just to cover the bottom of your pot, as you see. Pour a little bit of oil, pour just a little bit more. And I'm going to start for the cabbage also. I'm pour a little oil at the bottom of this one too. All right. And I'm going to saute onions. We have already cut up the onions. We already washed our hands. We're going to put onions in here. As you can hear, they're going to saute. So, we both like onions. Yes. We love onions.
The whole family.
Onions bring flavor, and onions help build the immune system.
Yes.
Yeah, so especially all these things going on, onions build favorite, onions bring the immune system. You can't put too many onions, in my opinion, because it's almost like they melt away. So it looks like a lot of onions now, but they're not going to be gone. So now the onions are sauteing. I forgot to get a big spoon. Sorry, sugar. Yeah. All right. And then you just stir them up a little bit. Just stand over and stir them up a little bit. Stir up the onions here. Turn this up just so. She's stirring it up some. That is how I do it, right? Now, what you would do, if you're making purple whole peas, you would have plain water, and you would have a piece of smoked meat or a piece of meat that she would boil for how long?
30 minutes or so.
30 minutes or so, where the taste of the meat comes out. Usually it's already cooked meat though, right? Right. It's cooked meat. So you put it in and you boil it down to get the flavor. We're doing it without meat today. So if you want to do it like that, now what I am going to use is vegetable broth. You can make your own vegetable broth, or you can get vegetable broth. This costs like $1 or something like that. Something like that, right? $1.50. All right, so it's boiled down vegetables. Now that I have that, I've sauteed my onions real nice. That's real nice in there. I'm gonna, one other thing I'm gonna add is I cut up some bell pepper. So I'm not gonna use all this. I put some bell pepper. I'm gonna use some of this in my cabbage too. So I'm gonna put some of this bell pepper in here with the onions. And let's drop some of our garlic in here with the onions and bell pepper. And I'm gonna put about half of that in there. And that helps build your immune system also. So the garlic and the onions gonna go in our peas. Then we're gonna put some seasoning with the peas. All right, so she's stirring that up. That's all stirring up, that's all good. About a few more minutes. While we're doing that, I'm gonna stir over here because we're preparing for doing the same thing with the onions for the cabbage. All right, so the same thing is happening here. And I'm gonna put some of the same exact things. I'm gonna put some bell pepper. It's gonna come out tasting different. Put some bell pepper. Now, one thing that I would have done, but this happened this morning, one thing I would have done with my cabbage is I would have made carrot julienne. You chop up carrots, little strips, and I would put some of that and mix the carrot with our cabbage, but we're not going to do that today. All right, so these are the basics, how to cook it, just for people who might just be looking for a different recipe, or people who just don't cook every day in the church, so you can be healthy, your children can be healthy, you cook for yourself, you know what's in your food, you pray for it while you're cooking it. Now, the other thing that we're going to be cooking, which I'm going to get this pot, we're going to do it all at the same time, is our squash, right? I saved, I use all my onions. Oh, Lord. I'm going to steal some onions from over here because I use all my onions. We use onions. But also, finally, For our sweet potatoes, we're going kind of fast, but I told you it's going to be fast. For our sweet potatoes, we already washed them off. We put them on a cookie sheet or a little pan. Put a little bit of oil on it so that they don't stick. Just a little bit of oil on there so that they don't stick. And we're going to put these in the oven. We put it at 400. These are small sweet potatoes. Oh, I'm in the wrong oven. We're going to go to the bottom of it. All right? And we're going to let those start baking. Everything is cooking now. I already chopped up the cabbage. You can see the footage of us chopping up the cabbage. We chopped it almost in what you call it, Sharon, strips. All right. This is ready for me to go ahead and put in these peas, aren't they? Isn't it? I'm going to go ahead and pour my peas in here. And my peas are in here. I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Sharon was mixing it. We kind of working together. Now, the truth is, we ain't trying to fake it. We don't usually like cook together just like this, all close like this. This don't happen like that. Either she cooking or I'm cooking. Because, you know, I cook one way, she cook another way. So I ain't trying to fake it. We're trying to show y'all two different ways. Because either you cooking or I'm cooking usually. So I'm going to mix this up in here.
Saute.
I'm going to let this saute just a little bit. There's not, you don't want to leave it that long. Remember, we're going to put vegetable broth in here. You could put beef broth, you use beef broth, but you make your own broth if you boil under your beef. Usually I'll smoke meat, I'll smoke some chicken, or I'll smoke some ribs, and she'll take one, or ham, I smoke that on the smoker. Turkey meat, smoked turkey, whatever I smoke. She'll take a piece of it, she'll leave it in the freezer, she'll boil that down for 30 minutes like she told you. It's already cooked, it's there. Then the meat infuses in the thing. Now, that's there.
No salt, no pepper.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Now we'll put our spices in there. Thank you, sugar. All right. So I'm using Himalayan salt. They say it's good for you. Remember when I was in the Himalayas? All right. So I didn't see the Himalayan salt in the Himalayas, so you just turn it here, fresh salt. And it's better not to put too much salt when you're cooking and add salt later than to put too much salt and then you're stuck with it. All right. We put a little salt in there. I'm going to put a little black pepper. All right. Boom, 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 boom. In the name of Jesus. Little black pepper. Is that too much? Go ahead. She putting some Italian seasoning. That's what I was talking about. Little Italian seasoning. Ooh, you dumping that in there. All right. And then you're going to put just a touch of cayenne pepper just to give it a little bit of a kick. A little bit of a touch. Now, I got varying levels of pepper. This is one of the lowest levels of peppers. This cayenne pepper, I got pepper from India that can cook from, what's that? Guntu. Now I'm just drop a little bit of chili pepper. Don't want to put too much. I can do that with this one. That other pepper I put, I just put a pinch. You got to know your pepper because every red pepper is not the same. Mix it just a little bit. It's smelling good. It's looking good. Now, it's not going to cook like this. Now I'm going to pour in my vegetable broth. This all have sauteed. The spices are in there. I'm pouring in my broth. Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to let that simmer. Probably enough because these peas are so tender. Straight from the Mississippi Delta Council. Straight from a farmer. Just made this and put it in here. It's not going to take long. Them peas are almost ready to eat right now. Just give them a few more. Now, we get, oh, thank you, Sharon. We got sauteing for our cabbage. Our cabbage is here, sauteing the onions for that. We're going to get our cabbage. What else we're going to put in? Oh, throw our cabbage in there. Now, you know cabbage shrinks. This was one head of cabbage. We're going to throw this in there. I'm going to throw that right on in there. And cabbage shrinks. It'll disappoint you. Our kids love it. And by the way, you saw me cut up the cabbage greens. Don't throw that away. I don't know why people tear the greens off and throw it away. I don't know what they're thinking about. We cut it up. We rinsed it off. We put it in there. It already has a little oil. There's a little water that's already on the cabbage because we rinsed it off. That's in there. We're going to do the same thing. Put some of our spices. Where's my salt? A little bit of salt. All right. A little bit of pepper. Black pepper. We're not going to put any chili pepper in our cabbage. Now, there's a couple pepper got me. What's this? Italian seasoning. Okay. I'm going to stir it just a little bit. And then we're going to cover this up and let it simmer. Finally, finally, we have our cabbage. I mean, our squash. Now, some people peel the squash. They peel this off. Do that? I don't know. I wouldn't peel anything off. You leave it. All the nutrients are in here. We just cut it and we cut it up. You can see how we do that. This is already on. And this is sweet and warm. And we remember we stole some of those carrots. So we're going to set this here. We're going to set our squash in here. Mix it with this here. This is going to be some good, healthy food. It's going to be good. You get used to good food like this straight out of the field. My God, this is going to be good. Now, if you eat meat, you can bake some chicken or fry some chicken to go with this meal. This is a full Sunday meal. And we're doing this after night service. It's late at night we're doing this. But God is good. Is this on? Yeah, it's on. Okay. All right. And then we're going to cover this also and let it simmer. Now, you don't, and you keep all of these on medium heat. You don't want it boiling too fast, too hot. We're going to just let it simmer. And in about 20 minutes, we're going to be eating. Oh, we didn't put any salt on here. Where my salt is here. All right. That's enough salt. That's not as much as it looked like. We don't eat a lot of salt. We don't need a lot of salt. Now, I'm going to tell you, we didn't put any sugar and nothing here. Sugar is granulated crap. Put any sugar in it and just a little bit of salt, other spices. You can mix up spices. Sometimes I put a little turmeric in my purple hull peas. I'll put a little cumin in there. We usually use cumin, but we just went with the basics today. And then we can mix it up on another day. Anything else you want to add?
That's it. About to sneeze.
Yeah, I shook that black pepper. It's killing us. All right, then we'll come back and see how it all pans out. Well, everything's done. It only took about, 20, 30 minutes because these vegetables are so fresh and tender. The potatoes took a little bit longer, maybe about 30, 45 minutes. So we got our squash. Go ahead, Sharon. You go ahead there.
All right. So the squash is done.
Yep.
Tender.
All right. And then we got our cabbage. See, we didn't overcook it. It's not cooked too much. We didn't boil it either. It made its own juices. It's not in water. Sometimes you can boil cabbage, but this way you can keep the vitamins that's in the cabbage. So that's going to be good. Then we got our purple hull peas. They boiled down, look nice.
That actually smells good.
That smells good. Look at there. And then we have our sweet potatoes. I'm going to take them out of this hot oven. Remember, we cleaned them and we put them on here, put on the oven. We set them here. Now, how do you know your sweet potatoes are done? You can look at them and kind of see. For those that can look and see, they turn the color a bit, but you stick a fork in it and it's tender all the way through and you know it's done. So it's done. All right. And now we about to eat. Let's dish this up. Let's make our plates and we're going to eat. Give me a little bit. I'm making my plate because I know you don't want me to make your plate because I always make too much. Give me a little bit of squash. I'm just using the same thing. It's all good. It's all going the same way. Get a little bit of this cabbage. Now, Sharon, as everybody knows, make the best cornbread this side of the Nile River. We would have had some cornbread with this. I told you could have some meat with it. We're just going to go here. It's kind of late, but it's a big plate. But there it is. Now Sharon's making her plate. We about to eat this and eat it nicely. Oh, let me get my potato. And let me show you one last thing.
I thought they was making rice.
All right. Somebody's going to make some rice. But let me
mix mine together.
Let me show you one last thing. When you eat this potato, it's a sweet potato. Do not put any sugar on it. Brown sugar, black sugar, white sugar. Just put just a little bit of butter. And you make sure it's real butter. Not margarine. I believe it's not butter. Just a little bit of butter right on that baked sweet potato. And that's going to be good. You had a natural sugar. You got to break your sugar addiction. All right. And that should be it. Let me see here.
It's very good.
You came out good. Good job.
I just mix mine together.
And this is my vegetarian way to make it. But you don't have to be a vegetarian to cook this way. Because you could have a piece of meat on the side. Or you could have boiled meat to go into your beans. The squash is good and tender.
It's actually good.
Yeah. Hey, Sharon says good is good. And we use simple spices. Matter of fact, it's good that way.
That pepper right there.
All right. God bless y'all. Enjoy. Let us know. Hey, let us know how yours came out.